Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Paul Lisnick. Well, if you follow politics at all, and who doesn't around this state and around this country, you might have heard that gridlock happens a lot in Washington, D.C. What is it all about? Can you break through? Can you fix the system? Well, my next guest thinks he might have an answer. Meet Michael Golden. He's the author of a new book called Unlock Congress. And Michael, there might just be some answers here.
I hope so, Paul. I've worked with members of Congress for years. I covered their campaigns as a reporter, worked with them in political campaigns, and I have a lot of respect for them. They work so hard to get there, and there's a lot of good people in Washington, but there's a set of rules that makes, no matter which party they're in, makes it incredibly difficult for them to have honest conversations, negotiate, compromise, and start passing legislation. And 93% of Americans have low confidence in the U.S. Congress. That's why I wrote this book.
And of course, each year each Congress seems to accomplish less than the year before, at least in these days. So you yourself, you said this, but not only as a reporter, you've worked on campaigns, congressional levels, Senate levels, in every level. So obviously you've built up frustration through the years to the point of writing this book. We know about the problems with the filibuster. They just can't get things done. So much of this seems to be a creature of creation of current legislators.
A lot of it is, and some of it is rules that are just simply obsolete. They don't make sense anymore. So you name the filibuster. Another rule, for example, is 2-year congressional terms. We've had this since the founding of our country, since the Constitution was written, but 230 years later, the world moves a lot faster. It's a constant campaign. And even Lyndon Johnson and Dwight Eisenhower 50 years ago said, 2 years is not enough. These guys can't have a conversation. They don't have time to study the bills. They're always looking for their next election, and that was before money was such a huge problem.
Well, I was about to say, they're looking to the next, it's all about money. So you win one night, and the next day you've got a fundraiser.
Right.
We get the power of money, but our time is limited, so I want to take a look at some solutions. Unless Congress does something about the Citizens United case, which is the one that says, go ahead and spend all the money you want, essentially, from this message from the Supreme Court, how do you even control the impact of money?
Well, you can't do it like that. It's going to take time, and because we have such little time, I wrote this book because I want as many people as possible who are frustrated with Congress's performance to understand why it's happening. The money rules can be changed, but not until Americans push back and protest and start voting and basing their vote on candidates on where they stand on these money issues.
But the way they learn it, they watch TV, that's the money.
That's the money, absolutely. But there's something called Mayday PAC, and it's covered in the book. They're supporting candidates around the country based on their commitments to change the rules on money when they get to Congress. And until we pay attention to who's running based on those ideas, nothing's going to change.
But then you had even President Barack Obama, who at the beginning of his election said, absolutely, let's follow those federal limits, until he didn't.
Right. There's always a way to get through and drive. You can drive a truck through these loopholes in the money system, but until we learn more about it, and that's why I'm hoping people will take a look at Unlock Congress, see what I'm saying. They may agree or disagree with some of the solutions, but they're all there in black and white, and at least we'll be having a conversation about what's driving the dysfunction.
Only 30 seconds for this answer, but is the problem maybe not money? Is the problem in the character and the kind of people that run for office?
I go into that in depth, and there's no question that in Congress there are some bad apples. But the point of this book is that it's not all about the people. The rules make it harder for them to come together and be productive. But we've got to push them to change the rules. They won't change it on their own because the status quo serves incumbents that are already in office. We've got to push it, and we first have to learn about it.
The book is called Unlock Congress. We get on Amazon, right? Or anywhere?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iBooks, it's all up there, and pre-orders are going, and we publish on tax day appropriately.
Perfect. Michael Golden, the author of Unlock Congress. If you care about politics, as I do, as you know, you don't want to miss this book. Check it out. Thanks for watching. I'm Paul Lisnick. Thanks for watching us here. This, of course, is Comcast Newsmakers. Bye-bye.